Welcome guys to the first lecture in this color section. We'll be looking at red. So in this little lecture I'm going to be talking about the color, what it represents, how it affects us, and variations. This is pretty much going to be the staple for every single color. We're going to be talking about more or less the same things, what they represent, the effects and the variations of colors, and how they have on our psychology. So without further ado, let's get started off with the color red. So, red is one of three primary colors, and this is probably the most powerful color there is in the spectrum. It quickly grabs our attention in any setting, no matter where it is or what color scheme is currently being applied. Red will pretty much be the first thing that we notice. It has a pulsating effect on us. So what I mean by this is that when we see this color, we are attracted to it, drawn to it, like I said previously, and it grabs our attention, but also ignites something in us. And this is basically one of the most important colors in the color spectrum. So some of the positive things that the red hue displays is love, energy, strength, physical courage, excitement. And the negative effects are anger, defiance, aggression, and danger. So what does it represent? Well, in terms of video games, red has to be used in a way that basically ignites something in the player. Basically, the purpose of using red is so that the player feels something at that specific point. Either it's one of the positive or negative effects. So, one case would be energy. It boosts physical energy levels and increases the heart and blood pressure. So, example, let's say you're in a fast-paced moving game and you see something explode, your heart starts racing, it starts pumping a bit because you feel the stress starting to develop, you feel the energy starting to create inside of you. Action, it also represents action, so it's fast moving and promotes a need for quick reaction and movement. So example, let's say in the image that we see over here, that big explosion launched by the rocket launcher. Now if you're a player near that, it would entice you to make a quick reaction. Oh shit, I gotta get out of here because something's about to go down and I might get hurt or might get in danger. So that's why red promotes quick action. Now, desire. So this can relate to physical desire such as lust or sexual attraction. Red usually encompasses this. So for Valentine's Day, usually that's one of the main encourages is red. Red is used pretty much all around the board because it's supposed to give that sensual appeal to us. Supposed to ignite us in some sort of way. Red also represents a passion. And this relates to a passionate belief in an issue or situation. So this can be a love or hate or anger type of feeling. In the image we see here, this is a Scarlet Crusader in World of Warcraft. So red is pretty much their main color scheme, and it is used to show the passion they have for bringing justice to the world. But as you can see, there's a lot of conflicting images here. So you have the guy in full red armor with a red logo with a bloody sword, looking pretty tattered, but he still believes that what he's doing is just. And that's why red is a very passionate type of color. Now, how does it affect us? Similar to what it represents and its underlying effect, red is stimulating. In a physical sense, it can be a sexual or a physical appetite. Red stimulates our deepest passions, and some can be either courage, love, hatred, or revenge. Depending on what we're feeling or how it's being encompassed or how it's being used in a certain way, red can stimulate us in this type of appetite or physical or sexual way. So depending on how you want to put it inside your video game and you want to stimulate something in the player, red is a really good color to use for that. Excitement and motivation. It excites us in our very emotions and inspires a call to action. It also is attention getting and grabbing. Like I said previously, it forces us to take notice and a learning of danger, and it is pretty much the universal color of danger. As we see on the left, on the diagram, the player in Diablo is very low health, and in order for the player to know that he's low health, without looking at his bar, a large red UI element is being displayed on the screen telling him that he's extremely low to death and he has to start taking care of his actions in order to not die. So that is pretty much one great way to alert the players of a foreshadowing death, or to tell them that there's something wrong with a current situation. Now, it's assertive and aggressive. Now, when a lot of red is introduced, such as a car color, it has a way of making individuals more aggressive and prone to hostile behavior. There are studies that prove that red does have some sort of underlying effect towards the amount of speed you're going. Now, recent studies have also shown that there's, maybe not as strong a correlation as one would have believed, but all to say, red does make us behave in a certain way that is way more aggressive than, let's say, blue would. Now, the different variations of red. So, starting off, we'll look at maroon. Now, maroon is a dark bluish red, and it references control and a more thoughtful action. So if you're looking at having, a character in your game that is very controlled and very precise in how he wants to dictate his actions, maroon would be a great color for his palette. Scarlet. Now, it's a little bit of a mix of red and orange, and it's enthusiastic and optimistic. So if you want to have someone who's very go-lucky and is very optimistic about the future, scarlet would be a great color for him to wear. Now, crimson. So this is a red with a little bit of blue, and it's determined to be success without upsetting anyone. It's more sensual than sexual. So this basic color gives a very successful approach and is more of a sensual style of red. Now, looking at burgundy. Now this is a dark purplish red. More sophisticated and serious. Control and power. Determined and ambition. These are the basic traits that burgundy represents. And this color is phenomenal to use if you're using such as a dark-minded boss character, where the character basically is overshadowing. He's very manipulative. He's a type of, he's determined, ambitious, but he also is smart. This would be a great color to use in this color palette to try to emphasize that. And that's it, guys, for the color red. And I'll see you guys in the next lecture.